Welcome to this Tutor to You Introduction to Sociology topic video on postmodernism. Across most sociology courses, you will encounter the term postmodernism and perhaps discuss postmodern approaches to society. But what is postmodernism? Postmodernism, sometimes referred to as post-structuralism in the social sciences, is a view of society that rejects many of the other theoretical explanations of society, particularly structural theories that offer a one-size-fits-all approach to studying society. While theories such as Marxism and functionalism suggest that society is in a modern age, one where people behaved in a similar way based upon their social class, gender and ethnicity, postmodernists argue that society has moved into a postmodern age. The postmodern age is typified by greater insecurity in relationships, employment, and with the environment, and individualism, which has brought about rapid social changes. This contrasts with the modern age, typically from the period of the Industrial Revolution onwards, whereby people's lives, relationships, employment, and culture were more certain and predictable. People would go to school, work in the same job for most of their lives, be in a heterosexual marriage that was lifelong and have children that would then repeat this process. However, for some sociologists, this era has passed, and it's thought that following the rapid social changes in the 1960s and 70s, that we moved into a postmodern era. In contrast to structural theories, postmodernists argue that society has become fragmented, and that the norms and values that once held society together are no longer adhered to by many. Concepts such as social solidarity and collectivism, being part of a group and working together for the greater good, have been replaced by individualism, that is, working in your own self-interest. Postmodernists argue that the social factors that brought people together and shaped their lives are no longer relevant. Social class, gender and ethnicity have less influence on a person's behaviour than they used to in society. Instead of these rigid categories, individuals have greater choice of who they want to be, and this leads to an increasingly diverse society with many different norms and values, rather than those of the majority or of dominant groups in society. One of the features of postmodernity is diversity, but what do sociologists mean by diversity? Diversity refers to the range of social characteristics in a society. One of the big changes from the modern era to the postmodern era is the ability for individuals to construct their own identities. In the modern era, individuals were often shaped by their social class, gender or ethnicity, and these were defining characteristics in their behaviour. These were also fixed. You were born into the working class and would likely remain there. According to postmodernists, we have greater social mobility and people are less likely to be defined by their social class. Gender is fluid. In the modern era, there was male and female. In postmodern society, the gender spectrum is broader and includes the ability to transition from one gender to the other or to identify as non-binary. Individuals have more choice over their identity, and this creates greater diversity. People are able to merge ethnic groups and create hybrid identities, for example British Asian, that have cultures that are unique and distinctive from other cultures. However, critics of postmodernists suggest that this has been exaggerated and that class, gender and ethnicity are still relevant in shaping our experiences. One of the big questions for postmodernists to answer is why people have more choice in postmodern society. One reason is the growth of capitalism and how people are more likely to be defined by the goods that they consume, the clothes they wear, the phone they have, the music they listen to, than their social class, gender or ethnicity. In the modern era, people consumed less and therefore their identity was more linked to those they interacted with. A second explanation for greater choice is the process of secularization, or moving away from the beliefs of religion, which often dictated individuals' moral values and behaviours. A further rejection of other social institutions such as education, government and even family leads individuals to make decisions based upon their own moral values rather than those of institutions. This has been further influenced by processes such as globalization, which has introduced new cultural ideas from other nations. Increased education, giving people more knowledge and changing social attitudes, reducing the social stigma about how we live and who we love. Postmodernists suggest we've lost faith in institutions. But why is this the case? Through the modern era, science replaced religion as the dominant explanation for why things happen. This promoted rational thought rather than ideas based upon faith. However, science and rationality have failed to provide answers to the problems brought about by the modern era. Poverty, crime, environmental and mental health issues have all increased. Yet science has no answer to how to reduce these, and so people look to alternatives. This dystopian view sees science as the cause of society's insecurity rather than the solution, blaming science for the growth of capitalism and the exploitation that followed, whilst arguing that technological advancements have led to environmental degradation, which puts human life in danger. As a result, individuals turn against science, and this is evidenced by some reactions to the COVID-19 pandemic in society. People believed that science was being used as a tool of exploitation rather than as a solution to the problem. A further reason that individuals have rejected social institutions is due to media saturation. The advent of mass communications, such as the internet and social media, has led people to have more knowledge, yet less trust in what they see from official sources. As people question the motives of social institutions in postmodern society, they draw their evidence from sources that echo their viewpoint. Postmodern sociologist Lyotard suggests that people have rejected meta-narratives put forward by social institutions such as education and government, and they choose to draw their own conclusions from the evidence that is available to them. An example of this rejection is the spread of conspiracy theories in society, rejecting the official story and challenging the meta-narrative put forward, a meta-narrative being a single truth or story, by looking for alternative explanations. This has been compounded by the growth of fake news, articles that suggest the truth but without a factual basis. A further issue is the spread of distorted images of reality, what Baudrillard called simulacra, something we perceive as real, yet often bears no resemblance to the truth. For example, filtered and airbrushed images in magazines and on Instagram. That concludes this Tutor to You Introduction to Sociology topic video on postmodernism. Thanks for watching.